Good evening and welcome to the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. I'm Adana Doric. In the headlines tonight, President Ali unveils historic $1.4 billion disability support package, sets bold 5-year jobs and accessibility mandate. Digital ID rollout underway. AG Nanlal affirms citizens' privacy fully protected. Tourism on the rise. 18% more visitors. 15 new experiences in 2025. Government unveils real-time national disease surveillance system. And President Ali urges unity, investment, discipline, and bold vision as tourism sector accelerates. Now for the news in depth. President Dr. Irfan Ali delivered a spirited and wide-ranging address to tourism stakeholders on the Tuesday evening, calling for a winning culture built on collaboration, disciplined investment planning, and pride in Guyana's national identity as the country experiences unprecedented growth in its tourism industry. More in this Colin Abrams report.
Speaking at the Tourism Awards and Gala 2025 ceremony, the president praised the rapid transformation of the sector, highlighting increasing investor interest, major infrastructure expansion, and Ghana's rising global reputation, while warning that opportunities are being lost because many operators are still failing to utilize existing incentives, strengthening their business models, or formalize their operations. President Ali emphasized that millions of dollars in incentives remain untouched because businesses are not applying, not preparing proposals, or not registering properly. To close these gaps, he announced that the government will hire 4 young professionals dedicated to helping operators write business plans, prepare investment submissions, register companies, and navigate regulatory processes. He urged operators to follow established rules and governance rather than seeking shortcuts.
Your ideas, let them help you write your business plan up, your investment plan, take it to go invest, get registered as a company, get registered with your TIN number, get registered under the regulations, and let us take it forward. There is absolutely no backdoor approach. You can't want to be part of a sector and then not want to be integrated into the sector by its rules, its regulations, its governance. So sometimes the private sector shoot themselves in the feet because they speak for a moment.
President Ali lamented the lack of local celebration for Ghana's growing international reputation. He noted that Ghana recently won a bronze award for exhibition design in Japan, one of at least 5 global awards in 5 years, but received little media coverage or industry promotion. He urged stakeholders to embrace national pride, drawing on his recent interaction with hurricane-stricken Jamaican communities, whose resilience he describes as a culture that is deep.
That is a love that is deep. That is an understanding of what true patriots are. And that is what we need to build in this country and ours. And we must not shy away from it. It must happen from the airport you come down. It must happen on social media. Because that is what makes a difference. You can't sell something.
Pointing to robust global and local data, the president said the industry is poised for transformative expansion. International arrivals reached 1.6 billion in 2024, up 11% from 2023. The sector generated US $10.9 trillion globally, 10% of the global GDP. In 2025, international arrivals and global air travel are continuing to grow, and Ghana recorded an 18% increase in visitor arrivals from January to July 2025.
What this signals is that tourism is back after the contraction wrought by the pandemic. But it's not only back, it is surging forward, stronger, and it is unstoppable. These numbers show how important tourism has become to the global economy. In 2024, travel spent almost $2 trillion US, and that figure is expected to rise to 2.1 trillion in 2025. Countries across the world, from Japan and Spain to the UK and Turkey, reported strong increases in tourism earnings. The sector now fuels many other sectors: construction, transport, food production, culture, technology, and the digital economy.
President Ali outlined the significant infrastructure projects underway across the country, all aimed at supporting a modern tourism economy. These include new hotels in various stages of construction, new regional airports, the expansion of the Chadijagan International Airport, upgrades to 32 hinterland airstrips, major waterfront and marina developments, new ferries designed with tourism in mind, and the modernization of cultural institutions such as the zoo, botanical gardens, museum, and cultural center. He also referenced major connectivity projects like the Deepwater Port, the new Barbatura Bridge, and road links to Brazil. Colin Abrams, Ghana TV9 News.
Guyana's tourism sector is on the rise. In the first 7 months of 2025, visitor arrivals jumped 18% compared to last year, signaling strong momentum for the country's growing travel industry. Faith Sandy reports.
I traveled along the winding rivers of the Kamuni Creek to launch Waya Green Escapes and to celebrate a local couple whose vision turned into a product that invites visitors to experience pure serenity. In November alone, we launched 12 new tourism experiences, bringing our total to 15 experiences this year, surpassing our initial target of 10.
Looking ahead, Guyana aims to welcome 3 million transiting passengers and attract 1 million visitors annually by 2030. Minister Rodriguez emphasized that achieving these ambitious targets requires enhanced infrastructure, improved connectivity, and consistently high-quality tourism experiences.
This performance shows progress that must inspire continued effort. That growth reflects the resilience of our sector and the world's interest in our forests, rivers, culture, and people. We have set bold national goals to match that interest. By 2030, we intend to welcome 3 million transiting passengers through our ports of entry and to attract at least 1 million visitors annually. Those targets are ambitious.
The government is taking action. Major projects include upgrades to the Linden-Mabura Hill Road, rehabilitation of 45 bridges, improvements to village roads, Georgetown renewal and beautification, and construction of a new port.
Hill Road, upgrading of 45 bridges between Mabura Hill and Lethen, improving connectivity and opening up opportunities. The rehabilitation of village roads, the Georgetown renewal plan, the beautification projects, and the construction of new ports. As such, our approach to 2026 will be even more aggressive, focusing on areas that have shown the greatest potential for expansion and long-term impact. We will intensify capacity building across all regions so that quality and professionalism are present in every tourism destination. The Tourism and Hospitality Training Institute will move from construction to full operational readiness, increasing the number of trained workers who can meet the demands of a rapidly growing sector.
At the Guyana Tourism Awards and Gala 2025, Minister Rodriguez highlighted the country's potential for community-driven innovation, sustainable growth, and regional development, showcasing a tourism sector that is not just expanding, but evolving. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Anel Nandlal, SC, has dismissed claims that the introduction of Guyana's digital identity cards threatens citizens' privacy. He maintained that strict legal protections already exist and that only publicly accessible information is being collected at this early stage. Here is more.
Speaking on his weekly Issues in the News program, Nandlal explained that the initial distribution of EID cards, currently limited to select government employees, is entirely voluntary. He said the pilot phase is unfolding while preparations continue for the full activation of the Digital Identity Card Act and the Data Protection Act, which were passed last year to guide the country's digital transformation. Although both laws have been enacted, their commencement orders are yet to be issued. a decision Nandlal describes as deliberate. He said the government understands the magnitude of the administrative systems and nationwide infrastructure required before the legislation can come into full effect.
These two pieces of legislation have been hailed as modern, as visionary, and as containing all the protective safeguards that are necessary in relation to legislation of their type. In fact, when I spoke in the National Assembly, I made reference to an expert from Barbados who wrote in the Barbados Nation an article saluting the Guyana's Data Protection Act.
He added that implementation demands the establishment of centers across the country, staffed with trained personnel and equipped with the necessary technology. Quote, time is required, end of quote, he said. Still, Nandlal assured the public that the government is working with every convenient urgency to build the human, technical, and physical capacities needed for a smooth nationwide rollout. Responding to public concerns, especially those raised by the political opposition, Nandlal insisted that no private or sensitive information is being gathered at this stage.
The persons who were invited to participate in this process were told that they don't have to participate if they wish not to, because the law is not in force. That when the law comes into force, then everyone will be compelled or compellable by law to participate. In other words, the participation of the process at this initial stage was based upon voluntariness.
This includes names, addresses, national ID numbers, passport numbers, taxpayers' identification numbers, driver's license numbers, and details from birth and marriage certificates, as well as photographs and other civil registry data. These are all information already in the public information system, Nandlal stressed. No medical records, bank details, or intimate personal data have been taken from anyone. He rejected accusations that the state intends to misuse citizens' information, calling the claims by APNU and some commentators unfounded, without bias, and polluted by
The
politics.
government has access to this information anyhow through the various state agencies. Not that the government will ever, at least not our government, will want to take, what use will we make of your passport number? What use will we make of your driver's license number? Those are information that any person, governments have access to those types of information. What the government is not, what the process is not taking from citizens are the type of information that are deeply personal and that laws, data protection laws are passed to protect.
Nandla said that once all systems, centers, and regulatory bodies are fully in place, the commencement orders will be issued, making participation mandatory, consistent with modern national ID systems around the world. For now, he reiterated the process remains voluntary, limited in scope, and guided by strict safeguards. He concluded that when the digital ID platform is formally launched, it will operate under the most modern statutory protection, ensuring privacy, security, and public confidence. Adana Dor, Guyana TV9 News.
The government is moving ahead with plans to establish a national surveillance system that will track diseases in both humans and animals, creating what officials describe as a major leap forward in public health monitoring. More in this report. Speaking at the launch of the Digital Health Training Institute, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony announced that the new platform will provide real time data on infectious and non communicable diseases, enabling faster and more effective responses.
We also are running a parallel thing where we want to develop surveillance system to track diseases. We have been better at doing infectious diseases, but we now want to have a combined system where we can track both infectious, non-communicable diseases across this country.
The Ministry of Health is also partnering with the Ministry of Agriculture to expand surveillance to animal health.
And so we can see real-time data of what is happening in different parts of our country. We are also working with the Ministry of Agriculture to be able to track diseases in the animal population. And that now will be shared on one platform, so that if there's any disease in the animal population that we feel will have a potential to jump into the human population, then we must be able to detect these outbreaks early. So that's a system that we are currently building, and this will be funded through the Pandemic Fund and the World Bank as we build that out over the next 3 to 5 years. So there are many new applications that we're putting in place.
Data from both ministries will be shared on a single platform. Minister Anthony said the integrated surveillance system will be financed through the Pandemic Fund and the World Bank. The initiative is expected to be developed within the next 3 to 5 years. With this integrated human-animal disease monitoring system, the government aims to strengthen national health security, improve early detection of emerging threats, and build a more resilient public health response framework. Adana Doric, Ghana TV9 News.
More news after the break. Stay tuned.
Guyana Digital School, Guyana Digital School, the best place for learning, where every child becomes a success story. Educational transformation, your success will build the nation. The best place for learning, Guyana Digital School equals strong foundation. We offer online learning with digital tools. The teachers are there with you. Grades 10 and 11. These courses were designed for you. Accessible, engaging, whatever your needs are. We are there to support and coach through interaction. We're bridging the gaps in education. Guyana Digital School, Guyana Digital School, the best place for learning, where every child becomes a success story. Guyana Digital School, Guyana Digital School, the best place for learning, where every child becomes a success story.
Transforming education through digital innovation.
Guyana Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamahar Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Celebrate Christmas the Guyanese way with 7 days of magic and adventure. Feel the streets come alive with lights, decor, and carols. Share in the delicious joy of favorites like pepper pot, black cake, and even ginger beer. Then explore Guyana's attractions, the majestic kite show, scenic tour on the Demerara Essequibo, and Mahaika rivers. 7 days, one unforgettable Christmas. Join us. Let's discover Guyana this Christmas.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
Guyana, get ready for Sundown 2025, the country's biggest electronic music and arts festival, featuring Danik from the Netherlands, Walshifier of Major Lazer, Lip Prince, creator of Reggaetronics, and Helang from New York. An open-air festival packed with massive light shows, art installations, and the main stage by the ocean. December 6th, Marriott Beachfront, Georgetown. Time, 3 p.m. till 2 a.m. Tickets available online at ticketgateway.com. Eventbrite and Potsalt. For physical ticket locations, visit BPM Guyana on all socials. Sundown 2025. Guyana's EDM movement starts here.
Guyana Digital School, Guyana Digital School, the best place for learning, where every child becomes a success story. Educational transformation, your success will build the nation. The best place for learning, Guyana Digital School equals strong foundation. We have for online learning with digital tools. The teachers are there with you. Grades 10 and 11. These courses were designed for you. Accessible, engaging, whatever your needs are. We are there to support and coach through interaction. We're bridging the gaps in education. Guyana Digital School, Guyana Digital School, the best place for learning, where every child becomes a success story. Guyana Digital School, Guyana Digital School, the best place for learning, where every child becomes a success story.
Transforming education through digital innovation.
Welcome back. You're watching Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. Guyana's healthcare system is one step closer to digital transformation with the launch of the Guyana Digital Health Training Institute, a national initiative announced in Georgetown to prepare a new digital health workforce. The program will train 250 people from all 10 regions over the next 3 years to support the rollout of electronic health records, telemedicine, and data-driven care. More in this Faith Sandy report.
Guyana is rushing toward digital healthcare, and the government, along with international partners, has established the institute to modernize health services nationwide. Trainees will specialize in health IT, data science, digital systems management, and technical support, forming the backbone of Guyana's new digital health sector.
We already see your talent, your curiosity, your drive, and you represent the promise of what this institute will produce. You are already and are about to be even more so professionals who are going to strengthen healthcare. Strengthen healthcare for yourselves and your families and for your fellow citizens. The Digital Health Training Institute will serve as a true center of excellence, not only for Guyana, but as I said, as a model for the region and for countries that are looking to learn from Guyana for leadership in digital health. In its first 3 years, the Digital Health Training Institute will train hundreds of professionals in user support, health IT, data science, and digital systems management.
The Greater Guyana Initiative, funded by ExxonMobil, Hess, and CNOOC, confirmed a 20 billion Guyana dollars 10-year investment in Guyana's development, including full financing of the institute for its first 3 years. The partners emphasized the digital systems will improve patient outcomes, strengthen decision-making, and position Guyana as a regional leader.
I am standing here on behalf of the Greater Guyana Initiative, which is an initiative by ExxonMobil, Hess, and CNOOC, committed to supporting the sustainable development of Guyana. And it's a 20 billion Guyana dollar commitment, a fund set up to over approximately 10 years support that sustainable development in the country. It's about building capacity, it's about improving communities, and it's about helping on healthcare.
The Ministry of Health said its goal is to connect and digitize all 450 plus health facilities, many of which already use telemedicine supported by solar power and Starlink. AI is being introduced to interpret x-rays faster and outline appointment systems will begin at Festival City and all graduates will be observed into the ministry. A national disease surveillance platform tracking human and animal illness is also being developed.
We have been better at doing infectious diseases, but we now want to have a combined system where we can track both infectious, non-communicable diseases across this country. And so we can see real-time data of what is happening in different parts of our country. We are also working with the Ministry of Agriculture to be able to track diseases in the animal population.
Officials say the launch marks a major step in transforming healthcare delivery, with Guyana building the workforce, systems, and technology required for a modern, data-driven, nationwide digital health network. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali has unveiled a financial support package for persons living with disability, along with a sweeping vision to reshape accessibility, employment, and community inclusion over the next 5 years. The announcement came at a Christmas luncheon in observance of International Day of Persons with Disabilities, attended by cabinet members, members of the diplomatic community, parents, children, and disability advocates. More in this report.
In what he described as a duty of faith, dignity, and shared humanity, President Ali announced that every person living with a disability will receive a $50,000 one-off grant before the end of this month. The initiative totals $1.4 billion, supporting more than 27 vulnerable Guyanese. The president outlined a series of reforms already implemented by the government, ranging from permanent disability registration to online benefit applications, removal of taxes on key services, free assistive aids, and the establishment of a national database on children with disabilities.
I am pleased to announce that I've instructed that a one-off grant of $50,000 be paid to every disabled person before the end of this month, providing direct financial support totaling $1.4 billion to PWDs, $1.4 billion in this initiative alone, the most vulnerable in our society, benefiting more than 27,000 persons.
He added that these measures are part of a broader program designed to improve mobility, education access, housing support, and long-term financial independence.
Our mission is to create an environment where the disabled can fully participate in all aspects of national life, pursue their dreams, and contribute meaningfully to our nation's growth. Together, we will continue to build a unified, inclusive Guyana, where no one is left behind, and where every single person, whether disabled or not, participates fully and contributes meaningfully to this remarkably exciting period in our country's history.
Meanwhile, the president stressed that financial assistance is only one part of Guyana's transformation agenda. He announced that in partnership with the private sector, the government will target at least 5,000 new jobs for persons with disabilities over the next 5 years. He also issued a new national directive. Every new government project must dedicate at least 10% of its space to accommodate persons with disabilities.
That is why, working with the private sector, I want us to target in the next 5 years at least 5,000 jobs dedicated to persons living with disability. But much more than that, if in every single project we do, whether it's a community park, a community center, a community field, a little park in your private sector organization, a little lunch room in your private sector organization, in your boardroom, both public and private.
The president said this expanded accessibility requirement is a critical step in ensuring that persons with disabilities participate fully in a national life, not as observers, but as equal contributors.
As from today, every single new project must have at least 10% of the space dedicated specifically to support persons living with disabilities. Whether it's a government compound with a car park, we must have 10% easily convertible in the evening, where persons living with disability can enjoy the fruits of our collective labor as a people and as a nation.
President Ali closed his address by reminding the nation that disability inclusion is not a government mandate alone, but a test of national character, passion, and faith. He urged Guyanese to embrace the community with love, patience, and a shared commitment to uplift one another. As Guyana advances into a new phase of economic expansion, the president says this nation's progress will ultimately be measured not only by growth, but by how well it protects and empowers its most vulnerable citizens. Adana Dore, Ghana TV9 News.
5 of the 6 charges previously laid against Georgetown businessman Bradley "Doggy" Sampson, 36, has been withdrawn. Sampson was initially charged in July following a chaotic confrontation at the Square of the Revolution, reportedly sparked by a dispute over payments to individuals mobilized for a political march hosted by We Invest in Nationhood (WIN). Coleman Abrams has the story.
Bradley Doggy Sampson had been facing 6 charges in total: possession of a firearm without a license, unlawful carrying of a firearm in a public space, unlawful wounding of Genesta Fordyce, threatening behavior, disorderly behavior, and the use of obscene language. Bail had been set at varying sums ranging from $10,000 to $150,000. When the matter was recalled today, prosecutors informed the court that all firearm-related charges would be dropped due to insufficient evidence. The other charges, obscene language, wounding, and threatening behavior, had already been dismissed. Sampson is now left facing only a disorderly behavior charge, which is expected to be heard on December 5. He had surrendered to police shortly after a wanted bulletin was issued, accompanied by his attorney, Jawan Cox. The alleged victim, Genesta Fordyce, had claimed that Sampson assaulted her with a firearm during an argument over alleged underpayment for mobilization duties. Portions of the encounter were captured on video and widely shared on social media. Cox previously argued that no firearm was ever recovered, either at the scene or during police investigations. He told the court that an object can only be legally deemed a firearm from ballistic testing or by qualified specialists, and in this case, no such testing had been conducted, nor was any expert evidence presented. According to him, the police were relying solely on videos and photos circulating online, which he contended were inadequate to prove the presence of a weapon. The attorney also highlighted that Fordyce had neither appeared in court nor provided a medical certificate to substantiate the wounding allegation. He said she had informed police she no longer wished to pursue the matter, yet charges continue to move forward until their eventual withdrawal. Colin Abrams, Ghana TV9 News.
Now for some regional news. The Jamaica Public Service (GPS) says electricity restoration in St. Ann damaged by Hurricane Melissa has been delayed due to wire theft and vandalism. Vandals stole several spans of transmission and distribution lines from a work site in Richmond and cut remaining wires, setting back repairs efforts. GPS condemns the act, warning that the theft has added at least 3 more days to power outrage for affected customers. The utility urged residents to stay vigilant, report suspicious activity, and avoid interfering with infrastructure to help speed up restoration. Internationally, India's telecom ministry has reversed its decision to require smartphone makers to pre-install the government's cybersecurity app Sankar Sati on new devices. The original order, which also sought to push the app to older phones and prevent users from disabling it, sparked widespread criticism over privacy and user consent concerns, particularly among companies like Apple that prohibit third-party pre-installed apps. The government noted that 600,000 users downloaded the app in a single day, but decided pre-installation would remain voluntary. Sankar Sati launched in January helped users block or track lost phones and identify fraudulent mobile connections, with over 14 million downloads so far. And finally, in tonight's newscast, a roadside bomb killed 3 Pakistani police officers and injured 2 others near the Afghan border in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan. The attack comes amid rising tensions between Islamabad and Kabul over the Pakistan Taliban TTP, which Pakistan accuses of using Afghan territory as a safe haven. Though the Taliban denies this, the bombing follows a separate attack in Banu that killed a local administrator and two officers, claimed by a TTP faction. Despite ongoing violence, Pakistan and Afghanistan recently held peace talks in Saudi Arabia, agreeing to maintain a tentative ceasefire while discussions continue over long-term security commitments. And that has brought us to the end of tonight's newscast. Remember to check out our Facebook and YouTube platforms at GOI TV9 for more trending stories. I'm Madana Doric. Good night.